The Mistburned Barrens is the newest map added to Gilded 2 as a part of the Janthir Wilds expansion, and I am really enjoying it. This map features a wide variety of fun events, scenic views, and interesting details. I want to go across the map and highlight my personal top 10 favorite things within it, so let's get started. In the number 10 spot is the Juvenile Janthiri Bee. This is kind of an interesting thing that I really wanted to highlight, so I threw it in the number 10 spot. I've talked a lot about the Janthiri Bees on my channel, especially in the Lowland Shore map, and I do love them a lot. I think they are really cool, and the jumping puzzles connected to them are really fun, but ever since they were introduced, people really wanted them to become ranger pets, and we got them with this expansion. They can be found in a couple of areas and are pretty easy to get to. Just like their normal counterparts, they are absolutely adorable, and it is so fun to have a bee following you around and fighting your enemies with you. When it comes to the meta, I don't really know how this pet currently or will shape up against other pets, but I have had fun using this pet for the little bit of time that I have. The skills are fun, especially the honey toss ability where you throw a beehive, a bunch of bees buzz around, and there is a massive splotch of honey on the ground. The soul beast abilities are nice as well, and you have a basic 600 range leap with the bumble ability, which is a nice addition. In the number 9 spot is the hidden Sacrarium. It has the word hidden in it, so it obviously makes this list. Jokes aside, this is a nice location in the northwestern corner of the map. There are 2 different entrances into here, and the entrances are definitely a little subtle, but nothing too crazy. As you head inside, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I may or may not talk about a couple of them in a little bit, but the area as a whole is very, very beautiful. I love how scenic this location is, and I also love how it's hidden away from the rest of the map. It blends in very well and doesn't feel out of place, but it still feels exceptionally unique. An interesting map objective here is the point of interest of Saw's vision. Saw Delestial, of course, is the infamous human who is the founder of the White Mantle, and this area is a reference to him, where this area as a whole may be where he first met the Mursaat, or is some other similarly important location. In the number 8 spot is the theme of this map. The most generic answer I could ever give, and it honestly just goes out for the entire map. Now there are a variety of themes going on, like the 3 different magics spread across 3 different lanes, but I'm specifically talking about the blend of massive Mursaat architecture with a densely wooded forest. Wherever you go in this map, there are so many grand, beautiful sights. You are in the Janthir Wilds, which is a very forested region, and you have many incredibly tall trees reaching into the sky. The trees are magnificent, but pale in comparison to the massive ruins that you are exploring. Mursaat civilization was once massive, but it of course has completely fallen into ruin. I love the vibes of exploring through these massive ruins and looking upon what used to be a proud people, but the combination of the massive ruins and trees alongside the massive mountains, bloodstone shards, and so on just makes this map feel epic. If this is a taste of what Bavanisos is going to look like, I am excited. In the number 7 spot is the Veiled Library. For anyone who watched my first playthrough of this zone, I love this location. It is an incredible library, and I am definitely going to highlight this place again in the future when I explore libraries. Fitting into the themes of the rest of the ruins, this is a pretty massive library with multiple floors and a ton of bookshelves. There are some Mursaat ghosts roaming the halls, which I think is a nice vibe because it makes this place a spooky, ghost-infested library, which is reinforced by the overall dark and slightly misty atmosphere in here. As you would expect with many libraries, there are a variety of things you can read in here. If you like learning more about the background of this map as a whole, and some of the things that happen here, I definitely recommend looking around here. You also have the Scouring the Archive side story that takes you through here, and you can unlock a mastery point as well as a mini Agony after reading through a very interesting story. In the number 6 spot is the Hazardous Research adventure. In the southeastern corner of the map, you have the Garden of the Unseen. I mean, come on. We are taking everything else in this map with epic Mursaat ruins that look beautiful, and then just throwing a bunch of plants all over it. I love it. This place is incredible. The adventure through here has you riding your Warclaw, or I suppose you could use another mount throughout this place and picking up Bloodstone, then throwing it towards the researcher. The throw has a very long range, which provides a lot of opportunities for you to line up throws from super far away to speed things up. The piles of Bloodstone are located in the small area, but the area goes up pretty high and you can climb up to the upper parts and throw the Bloodstone down from up there. It's just a really fun activity that combines a bunch of fun elements together to create a really enjoyable experience. In the number 5 spot is the Valley of Agony. This is a massive canyon that makes up the majority of the entire northern lane of this area. From a visual standpoint, this place is just really cool. I mean, it's just a nice looking canyon. When the event through here hasn't been completed, it is filled with agony and you will straight up die if you fall into the canyon. But after the event, you can explore it without fear of dying until the events begin again. The events through here are really fun and I love all of them. But when you are escorting the Jade Construct, you can't go down into the canyon because you will obviously die, but you can support the construct from above. You could be on either side of the canyon throwing things down, or you can hop onto your Warclaw and just bounce all around the canyon throwing things down towards him, which is just super fun. The story going on here is also incredible. This canyon was a location of an incredibly important event in the Mursaat versus Seer War, where the Seers came through this canyon and were just completely obliterated by the Mursaat, where there are a ton of Seer ghosts haunting this canyon who you can come across, which I think is just incredible. There's a lot of environmental storytelling going on here, which makes this location hauntingly beautiful. In the number 4 spot is the Golden Lake. I basically talked about the 3 other corners of this map, so let's look at the southwestern one. The Golden Lake is this incredible area that has a ton of ruins around here with trees coming out of the water and highlighting the areas all around here. This is another dark and gloomy area, and I love the Bloodstone Shard here because it really stands out from the environment. This location also has been hinted to in the Secrets of the Obscure expansion, and it is cool to finally explore this area specifically, where there is some more stuff that you can learn about this place as you explore the map. But my favorite part of this area is actually the southern boundary. You have this big arch as well as more of those old ruins just lined up on the southern end here, where the lake actually goes out into the ocean and south towards Janthir Century and mainland Tyria. I love how map boundaries have evolved in Guild Wars 2 over the years. In vanilla, it was pretty much always just massive mountains or the ocean, and while that has continued here and there, map boundaries have gotten a lot more interesting, especially in the Janthir Wilds expansion, and this is another example of that, and I hope this trend continues. In the number 3 spot is the Search and Rescue Challenge. Heading back to the hidden Sacrarium, you have another really fun adventure through here. This is intended for the Warclaw, but you can use other mounts as well, or use a combination of mounts. But a really fun achievement here is to exclusively use your Warclaw through the adventure, which I think is a fun bonus challenge. The goal here is to basically find 12 lost scouts and to recover them, and ultimately this entire adventure is super straightforward, and there is an incredibly obvious route that is directly laid out in front of you that takes you to each scout. However, you could also come up with some different paths through here to try to speed up the search and climb higher up onto the leaderboards. The hidden Sacrarium is a super beautiful location as I talked about, and it's nice to spend more time in here. But this area was definitely geometrically designed with this adventure in mind, and it is super fun to run, jump, and fly through this area during the adventure. And a nice bonus touch is that once you rescue the scouts, you can see them recovering near the start of the adventure. In the number 2 spot is maybe a bit controversial, but it is the branching event chains. Events are one of the hallmark features of Guild Wars 2 and truly made the game what we see it today. And there are so many different incredible events across the game, with singular standalone ones, larger event chains, and massive meta events leading to incredible boss fights. Some events are on a timer and spawn at specific times of the day, while some events happen randomly after the event was previously completed, and some events happen after certain other events are completed. This map took the concept of events we know and love and really changed it up in an incredibly unique way. Basically, we have 3 massive lanes leaving north, east, and south from the start of the map and explore different areas, where there are different events found in each of those areas that you complete as you progress through each area's respective meta events. However, each meta event also changes, where basically each meta event has different variants that feature different events and provide a unique experience each time you do it, and I find this incredible. Now, some people don't like this because if you need a certain achievement, you have to complete the meta event multiple times, and if you don't like a specific event, you have to wait for the meta event with the events you like to happen. But I never had any issue with that. I completed all of the various events for the achievements in this map super quickly, and I enjoyed playing through every single event. None of them were bad for me, but different people have different tastes. However, this map as a whole is just incredibly unique and has a very different gameplay experience compared to other maps because of this. I'm honestly enthralled and find myself just playing through a bunch of events in this map because the experience doesn't feel nearly as repetitive as it does in other maps. It is fun to be able to roam around and experience a wide variety of different events in the same areas because those different events don't coincide with each other, meaning you can fit so much more content in a smaller area than you could have before. And I think on one hand it is just super cool to see a unique approach to events in this map, and ultimately, I personally think it turned out pretty well, and it just elevates this map for me. But now for the number 1 spot, for my favorite thing in all of the Mistburned Ruins, and I think I have to give it to the Mursaat's game. This is a very, very cool quest that you can go on through the map that was incredible to experience. It begins with reports of missing scouts, and you can find people in the Alliance staging ground to learn more. This eventually takes you back to the hidden Sacrarium once again, where you have the search and rescue challenge that you actually do as a part of this achievement. You go all through here looking for the lost scout by the name of Riven Morrow, but he is not among the ones you found. You then take a deeper look and climb high up in the ruins to find this strange box. And when you interact with it, you get teleported. I was super confused doing this for the first time because I thought I would just pick it up and I would return it back to the staging grounds. But you get transported into the mists and find a Mursaat by the name of Sybil. Now, ArenaNet loves the White Mantle and Mursaat and loves to use them in stories to the point that some people are a little tired. Personally, I'm not. However, I'm a little scared for them to bring back the Mursaat, so when I immediately saw this character, I was both freaking out because it's a Mursaat, but also hesitant. However, the story going on here is incredible. You learn a lot about the background of the Mursaat throughout the Mistburned Ruins, and it is incredible to see what was once a great civilization crumble and fall. And like with any civilization, there are a wide variety of people who did a wide variety of things and also reacted to the fall of their civilization and people in a variety of ways. This specific Mursaat basically transported herself to this area in the mists and hid here from the rest of Tyria. This is kind of like a little pocket area of the mists that she hangs out in and cannot escape from, so she is trapped here, where she has captured a few different beings, including the scout Riven Morrow, and she has basically transformed these beings into statuettes where Riven Morrow is still alive and we have to quickly save him. But there is an incredible thing going on here where this entire area is basically a super baby version of Polymach, where she uses these pieces to attack you, and you have to go across Janthir and get little whittled statuettes of the various members of Destiny's Edge that Riven Morrow had carved, where you use these statuettes to get pieces of your own to fight Sybil's pieces, and ultimately the gameplay here is not really good, but it's not too bad and it doesn't last too long, and it is an incredible unique challenge for you to complete, which I think is fun. And of course, I would love to see Polymach introduced to the game sometime in the future, and maybe this is a hint towards that. But ultimately, you do defeat Sybil and free Riven Morrow, and there's a lot of story that you can experience throughout this entire quest, and there are a lot of conversations you can have with Sybil and other characters to learn more about everything going on. If you have not done this yet, I highly recommend you do, because it is incredibly interesting, very unique, and is just my favorite thing in all of the Mistburned Barrens. And that's my list. I hope you enjoyed. I know some people haven't been enjoying this map too much, but I have enjoyed it a lot. These are just my favorite things across the map, and I would love to hear what your favorite things are down in the comments. I'm definitely going to highlight more of this map in the future. I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Have a good one, everyone.